guys, and welcome to our first tutorial. Today we are looking at slip knots and foundation chains, and I have this beautiful yarn with me today. This is a premium acrylic yarn that uses a 6 or recommends to use a 6mm hook, and here is the 6mm hook I'll be using. It is one with the silicone end. Yarn is a copper color Starcraft special chunky weight yarn, and I absolutely love this color. If you've been following me over my Instagram, you'll know how much I absolutely love this copper color. But yeah, let's get straight into the tutorial. So I always leave a little bit of a tail. I weave it in at the end. I just find that works better for me. Some people don't leave as long a tail, but I tend to, and I leave one that's about 7 inches long, just for some leeway. Don't want the work to be unraveling. So yeah, guys, it was a bit of a struggle trying to measure it in my hands like that, so I decided to just be smart, put it down. But yeah, I'm just measuring the tail to be about 7 inches. With a slip knot, you grab it in the hand. I use the hand that I don't write in, so I use my left hand to hold my yarn. So I put it in between my fingers, and then I use my index finger. I wrap it over once, twice, and pull up the loop to create a knot. So I'm just going to do that again, just so you can see what I've done. So I put it over my index finger. I grab it first, wrap my fingers around the yarn, the working yarn, the yarn that's attached to the rest of the ball, and then I wrap it over my index finger twice, pull back, pull back, pull up and off, and it should create a knot. If you are able to tie a knot in any other way, that is also fine, but this is the way I prefer to do it. I then just pull the end of my yarn just to tighten that on the hook, but it's not tight to where you can't move the hook up and down and through the loop, but it is secure. So I'm just going to do it one more time just to show you again. So we've got the end of the yarn coming out towards my right hand, and the rest of the yarn falling down between my left hand, my fingers on my left hand. We wrap the yarn around my index finger twice, or your index finger twice. You pull the front part of the yarn over the second part of the yarn that's on your finger, and you do that again. You then grab the front part of the yarn, pull up and off, and it should be a knot. And that is a slip knot, simply put. You put your hook through the hole and you pull the yarn, tighten it, secure it. Not too tight to where you cannot move your hook, because that will make it really difficult when you come to making your foundation chain. So with making your foundation chain, I would pull the end of the yarn in your right hand just so it's out of the way, but you don't have to. And I'm just going to move my yarn to the side I normally have it on, which is my left side. I like to keep my right side clear, and pull from my left. But again, if you are left-handed, you may want to do it the opposite way round. And I also pull my yarn from the center of the yarn ball. It's really simple. You just reach into the gap in the middle of the yarn and pull out the yarn. So I know a lot of people are really different to me in how they hold their yarn. Some may not be, and you may prefer this method. I hold my yarn in my left hand and I try and grasp my yarn between my bottom 3 fingers. So my little finger, my ring finger, and my middle finger. But I also wrap the yarn once or twice around my index finger for security. I then yarn over. So the action you just saw me do is yarning over and pulling through the loop. I'm just going to do that again. So I hold my yarn, I yarn over, and I pull through the loop on my hook. And I've created another chain. So we've got 2 chains at the moment. Do it again, yarn over, pull down through the loop. That's 3 chains, yarn over, pull down, yarn over, pull down. If this is something you've never done, it will take a bit of practice. And so I'd advise, you can pause this video. You can also slow it down. So there is a function on YouTube where you can slow down videos. So feel free to slow it down and zoom in and watch. So as you can see, we're yarning over, we're pulling down, and we are creating a chain that is getting longer and longer. Depending on the projects, if you're doing a scarf, you would do a lot of chains. If you were doing a hat, you'd need less chains. So it just depends what projects you're doing. But this is simply a foundation chain. So here, I'm just going to show you what the chain looks like. And then we just count the chains. So if you're starting a project and you're reading a pattern and it says, you need 160 chains, what I would advise you doing is maybe doing 10 or 20 chains and then putting one of the stitch markers, which you can see in the top left hand corner of the screen. If you put one every 20 stitches, it means you don't have to count from 1 to like 160 or whatever number you need. You can just count in intervals of 10 or 20. So what happens if you don't like the look of your chain? If it's a bit flimsy, it's not very even, some chains are bigger than others, you can start again, okay? There is no shame in starting again. I always do it. And so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to start again, okay? So let's go over it. You have a end that's about 7 inches long. You grasp the yarn in your left hand. So the yarn is flat against your palm, and then you just fold your pinky finger, ring finger and middle finger over. Wrap the yarn over your index finger twice, pull up and over twice, and then pull up and off your finger so you have a knot. Put the knot on your hook or put your hook through the hole and tighten, but leave some space. Then remember, you can hold the yarn in your left hand and wrap it around your index finger. You may also want to hold the loose yarn, the end or the tail of the yarn, between your thumb and your middle finger. I do this sometimes, it's totally up to you. Then we yarn over and pull through a loop, we yarn over and pull through the next loop, and so on and so forth until we build up our chain. So just trying to show you the different angles so you can get an idea of where exactly the hook is going. But the chain part is not so bad, not so difficult. If you look at it from one side, you'll see that it forms V's. And so every time you add another chain, you add another V to the chain, in essence. So here we are, another chain done. Looks quite consistent in terms of the space between each chain and how big each chain is. So pretty happy with that. And then just turning it over to show you what it looks like from the underside. So underneath it forms little ridges, as you can see here. And on the top side, it is flat. So that's it from me this week, guys, and the timing couldn't be better because my washing machine is about to do the crazy part of its cycle. Stay tuned for our next video and I shall see you later. Bye.